My friends, welcome to another episode of the Date Your White podcast. And 11 and I'm back from 22nd anniversary. Yeah, let's sign us. What was your top element before we introduce our amazing guest today?
You know what? We didn't do gifts this year, but we did something a little bit more like sentimental for each other. Oh, you bought me some gifts, but I thought that was very like meaningful because we haven't done that. So
Has there ever been a time we went on a trip that we did not buy? I'm retired suitcase.
But yeah, twice. That's okay. Yeah, I thought it was good. I like you wrote me a book, and I wrote you vows, so it was good.
Special. All right, well, we'll talk about it on a different show. We have, as we told you, we've been bringing guests on for last year, and every guest we have on the show comes for a different reason. I've connected with them some way, they've connected with my wife some way, and they have a unique angle on life. Every single one of these shows focuses on the same thing, which is revealing one more aspect of what it is to stay together in a dynamic relationship while having children, sometimes blended families, sometimes not, creating, building businesses, living in wealth and abundance, and at the same time, dealing with the dark side that comes with all of that. So our guest today and his beautiful wife, we actually did a podcast together here about a month and a half ago. It was the first time I did a podcast before the podcast. And Jarek and I sat for, that was not normal for us to do.
No.
Normally it's like a 5-minute.
No, that was like 3 hours. Like seriously, okay, so we're not doing the podcast anymore. We're like literally, like we could not stop, and we were going.
We're like, we should get started.
I mean, the energy we're exchanging, this was like amazing. Like if this was recorded, it would be next level.
I know we didn't. We'll put that on the team. I don't come. We're coming.
Yeah, but it's funny. You put it on the end, and you criticize this too. It's like she keeps saying, "It's like when somebody comes in, give him the mics, like give him the mic." Yeah, there's like there's so people that like immediately, and it's. But it was like like those made it. Yeah.
Now we also have the next one in the lineup of 2 straight months of powerful women sitting in the magic chair. Jessica, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Very excited to have you too. Okay, so here's the deal. We're going to dive right in. You ready? Jessica, I'm going to come to you with this question. Who saw who first? Did Jarek see you? Did you see Jarek? How did this go down? Was this a random occurrence? Give us the detail.
This went down in a dating app during COVID. Oh, we were on Bumble, I think. So it had to be, I think, if I remember correctly, I think I had to swipe on him in order for the match to occur, and I had to reach out first.
Okay.
So by the time I swiped on him, he'd already swiped on me, so it was an immediate match. And if I spoke to him first, then he would be able to respond to me. So that being said, I would have initiated the conversation.
So this is another marriage process by Bumble. Bumble is bringing this is okay. So what did you see? What was the hook that had you go, I'm going to swipe on this guy? And the thousands of guys who were on that app wanting to swipe on these guys. Go up, give us the superpower. What was the marketing hook? What was he looking like? Or did you say,
I'm listening.
So the made up the time, I'd been single and dating in Miami. And Jarek is Fort Lauderdale father, and just such a different vibe. I think that's what struck me first was kid post with his children and more of like familial settings rather than clubs and tigers and sports cars, just weird stuff and bands. And so I have a child, and I just think it was refreshing. It's just kind of like a different speed than what I was used to in Miami.
we've heard out with the overspeed?
Most certainly.
Yeah.
Keep on tigers.
No more tigers.
I had that. Yeah.
Yeah. Jarek, you never had a tiger?
No.
Never? I never had a tiger either.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. It's a good thing. If he had tigers, we're probably out. Okay, so you swipe you said you had to send the first message.
I had to send the first message.
Okay, so what's the first message you said?
So the first message was small, just to kind of see how he responded. But what I do remember is I have an introductory 3 questions that I ask anyone just to see how they answer. And mine are, if we went on a first date, where would you take me? Do you clap when the plane lands? And do you go barefoot in the airports, airplanes? These are my something like I do.
Do you remember getting these questions?
Yeah, that was the weirdest shit. Like, what the hell? It's like they yesterday. I mean, like a prank show. Is that like I really like? I thought she's joking, but
Did you answer them?
yeah.
Okay, well, we're
Yes.
No, none.
Well, but then what was the first?
It was the first little date.
I'm trying to remember.
Where would you take her on the first date?
Well, the first date is because it was COVID, so I was like, well, we had nowhere to go. You gotta come over. And there was the restaurant was closed, like a bit like so I was like, and we remember like we talked about it.
Yeah. It was a little bit different because of COVID, but
I'm telling you, I let me tell you from my point.
Okay.
I needed like she asked me. So what happened is she was starting on the app of like, listen, I'm not doing this. Like, here's my phone number, call me. And we start talking, and I'm driving to Miami on a date. But I told her I'm driving for the business meeting.
but
I'm talking. And I'm talking for her for like 45 minutes. I cannot get off the phone. I can, and I'm like at the other person's house, and I'm like I cannot get off the phone. I really went to the date. In 15 minutes, I'm like, dude, I gotta go. And I called her and I said, listen, you gotta come over to my house. Like we cannot go anywhere.
really,
My meeting, but it wasn't a meeting, it was a date. I was thinking about her, and I was like, and then we continue. I was like, she's like, I'm not coming over. I'm like, where are we gonna go? Like, I'm like, listen, it's not only me. There's gonna be other people in this house. We're gonna feel comfortable. It's not like a date, like, and that's how it started. And then my friends was like, dude, what if she's not real? What if this big woman's gonna come out? Like, there's a different picture. Like, you'll be like, what? Everybody was in the window looking. It's like, why? That's not her. I'm like, what do you mean it's not her? It's her. I was new to that whole thing. So
Okay, so the answer is work, obviously.
it did.
And when he said the stuff, I'm right out of the gate and said, call me, were you like, okay, does this fit in line with the game? Because I don't know if that's how the game, I don't know how the Bumble game works.
He sent his bar was like comment. I was like, no, I still need to find out more. Like, because people in this see, and so there was more questions and more information I needed. But also,
she told the shit out of me.
I googled. I didn't believe you till I read that I would come visit you, and then I did, and I dropped a pin for my friends. It's like when you live in Miami, Fort Lauderdale might as well be like the next state over. Like it's travel Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and then like. It's just, if it weren't for COVID, I'm not sure how all of this would have gone, because it never would have happened. I never would have gone to your house. I never would have come to Fort Lauderdale. Like it was because of COVID. So it's like I kind of vacated all of my norms.
It's a nice thing here. We really start dating from Lululemon, and we saw each other from.
It's from the end. Oh, you thought to go, but we're not. Let me cut off and go.
Well, she can't really. So like, you don't go. With the nice clothes, it's like, you know what I mean? So we immediately met like completely like organic. And for 6 months, I thought she's a setup for my ex-wife because she was in the same line of business. She knew everything about real estate. She was in my head. She she like everything we talked was like, this is too good to be true. I mean, it's like, like there's no way that's a setup. And like every time after sex, it's like, you are not being set up, right? This is not a setup, right? You're not being sent by my ex, right? And she goes, no, just stop saying that. It's 6 months, right? Like I was like, finally, like, okay, this is not a setup. This is a real thing.
And as he thinks you're a setup, and you're traveling for Padre Cadeco, what are you thinking?
I have never. So he had a tumultuous previous situation, right? And whenever you find somebody new or you're dating, you hear about an ex, especially, they were married and there's children. So it's like, okay, I'm trying to navigate the difference between a person who's left a relationship and has certain feelings about it and what might be, more realistic. And so at first I was like, okay, I can't imagine a situation where an ex would do some. Yeah, like I always kind of took it as a joke because it was like, that's crazy.
Not crazy.
It was, I mean, as time regressed, the context actually made a lot of sense.
So we basically said before we started the show, you're like, it's crazy that we're together. What's crazy about it? Is backgrounds, how you met?
All I mean, about 18. The reason why we talked about it yesterday is because we were in Miami having dinner with friends in my old stomping grounds. So, my work history is that I've been an owner's rep in construction, and my first project was building a nightclub in South Beach. So South Beach was stomping ground. My daughter was raised getting picked up from school if I was busy by the club's bodyguards or security. And she would be there at the nightclub with the performers and people. And so it was like my life was very Miami. It was just very different. His was very like suburban. We go to school, we pick up the kids and then come home. I mean, his was a lot more traditional. Mine was, I live in a high rise. We Ubered, we had Instacart come. I dog.
I know what Instacart is on Matter. Yeah. She go to the store.
I mean, it was just my daughter were taking Uber to tutor because I work 16-hour days. So it was just like a complete opposite. And then like I went to dinner at 8 p.m. and my friends were from every country and just very different. He's like,
I go to Reddit if shit. 5 p.m. it's a dinner. What time we go to dinner now?
Miami is different. When we book Sherpas, we're like, let's get together and go to dinner. And we're like, what time? They're like 9. I'm like, I'm in bed at 9. Yeah. I'm open until 5.
We didn't know. We will all these places downtown Miami now, and with the club people come up, the managers, we're the only ones there. We're like,
we get to really right at 8:30.
Shoot Jewish stuff, also there early, and they'll come up to us every time. They're like, Mr. and Mrs. White, we love having you here. We would love to have him back as a guest on a Friday night or like a Saturday night. I'm like, 10. We're like, oh yeah, we need you. Can't do that. But you look like perfect fit for the club, and we're like, yeah, that's why we're here at 6. You just live in town, you give a social. Okay, so there was a complete different attraction happening, like from 2 totally different worlds. Yeah, in a cross connect, and for 6 months, you're not sure if this is real. For 6 months, you're going, this is totally different. I'm in the suburban gang here, hanging out in Fort Lauderdale. Okay, so at what point do you two decide, oh shit, this Miami Fort Lauderdale connection is happening. Bumble is about to create another connection for real. Well, past 6 month mark.
This other way around.
It was like the Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Right around.
So we met in May, and for me, Thanksgiving, this was like, we were in our, you did a break, right? That's when.
Is that when you told her you loved her? Or did you say that before?
Oh, no. Before. You tell me, you just not even respond to that, right? You say thank you. Why are you doing this? It is
I love you.
I think you said thank you to me.
I probably did.
You're refining me, but no, you not go.
This is so Danielle. I'll say so.
We said I love him like same.
Take care. I appreciate that. That's great.
I think that's what she said. I was like, what? Did she say thank you?
Thanks, bro. I think it was, I'm trying to remember, but I think it was around that time. I think there was some tumultuous stuff going on. And I just think that it was like the way he, like for me saying, oh, he's a big deal. He's the type of person that like said it in passing. And I'm like, what? Like right now, you were saying all your friends. Yeah, I love you. Wait, what? He like, and so for him, he'd be like, yeah, he's not the same. Like for me, I'd like find a way to say it for a week and then like it'd be like a promposal. Like that's how I say it. For him, it's like whatever. Yeah. So I can imagine it's hard to recall the exact time, but every benchmark for us has been like a big deal for me, and for Jarek, it's like a Tuesday. Like he gifted me a car, and it was a very big deal for me. Jarek was watching soccer and didn't make it to the dealership when they gave me the car. He just was like, just give me the car. And so when I got home, and I'm like, oh my God, he's like, babe, it's soccer games on. It's just move a little bit. And I'm like, but it's a whole car. It's just like, anyways, you like it? Did you like the car? We sure we like it. Okay. So he's just very lackadaisical about things. Where I'm like, oh,
I get it. Who's more emotional? Who's the first one would be more sentimental, like more emotional? Right here.
bro. Where? We just got done talking about like
That's emotional.
sentimental.
No, definitely you.
I think that's hard to get. Like,
Oh, sentimental, definitely you. He said emotional.
Like who's gonna put their emotions up? Like out of us two,
it's him.
like we go to Venice.
Yeah.
I create these books. I call them the Evening Scrolls. It's like my storyline narrative of our relationship. I named it The Prostitute and the Performer. And it was like explode, but it's
So,
We're not enjoying.
at first I was like, oh, what are you giving me? And then as you read it, I was like, that's really good.
There was anger in reading it. There were tears in reading it. There were pages ripped out of the book. It was a gift. I was like, I'm tired of buying you. I'm gonna give you something from her. So I'm the first one to be like, here's what I'm feeling. She's a sucker. Like very rarely will she, unless it's like rage. She'll come to like rage if she's not too many seen or heard. But I'm typically the one that like puts my emotions out first, and then she'll put her emotions out second. Who leads the emotional conversation? You? Is it both of you?
Adult dog barrier.
Oh. Oh, are you serious? Are you serious right now about to dare me? Like quadruple dog. I mean, really? Yes. The rage, is on you. The emotion is on me. Right there, biggest issues. It's, dude, we can go back and forth. Now we shit out yet.
Okay, so I guess we also have the sentiment that we know is me. Is I'm big
Oh, no question, man.
gifts, albums with scrapbooks that I keep up with the kids.
First time in my life, I start receiving gifts because, like, what do you buy me? Like, I can get it everybody I want, right? And every time she gave me a gift, or my kids give me a gift when we start doing together, like every time I cry. They giving me something that it's you know what I mean, that I put like I would never, I did not even think of that. And they give me like, you know, and it's stuff that keep reminding me, you know, like I keep having that it's the sentimental stuff, but that I would not even think of it.
Was that when for you with Jessica was like that's supernatural, like that's part of her alcohol? Was that weird for you to receive?
I thought I'd tell you what really grabbed me, and it grabbed me immediately. It was the 3 questions, like that fucked me over. Like I can't believe she asked me those questions. The level of that, but it's the first time in my life I had somebody that was putting my needs before their own needs, and that's the first person in my life that ever gave me permission to be me.
Wow.
And I'm like, this is fucking fake. Or there's no way. She let me be who I want to be. And it's like, even when I was fucking it up, I was screwing it up, she's like, just do you, boo. I'm like, huh? Like, you're supposed to be angry right now. You're supposed to be like, I am. I want to do my shit, but I'll let you go first you. I'm like, what? Like, I can be me. I don't have to pretend. I just can truly, like, you know, just go cry, be vulnerable, be whatever, like, and, or even with the ideas when I'm, you know, being creative. Like, I give you an example. We going through all the stuff. And then I said, I'm going on social media. And I'm scared shitless to tell Barry that I'm going on social media. It's like, you know what, all this stuff, you know, we have some hiccups in our relationship, like all the relationships are. And I'm going on social media. And she looked, and I was like, I was scared shitless. And she looked at me, whatever makes you happy. I'm definitely gonna, you know, support you. I'm like, what? They're going to be women. They're going to be like, you know, it's like, I support you if you want to do it. I'm like, what? And it was like just one is that there's like, I can give you millions of examples. Like, be you. What? I don't have to pretend. Like, I don't have to, you know what I mean? And that gives me permission to be creative with my own self. And I was like I was like evolving as a man. Because I was always even like, my parents love me. My parents are still together. They did this, you know, I'm the father of 5 now. So we screw up so much shit in life, right? But my parents did this they knew what they knew out of the conscious level. They were working, but they were always putting me like down. And my entire life, I was putting down by the coaches, by the priests, by the teachers, by the partners, by friends, by everybody else. And suddenly, at the age of 48, I have like an angel sending to me is like, do whatever you want to be. What's wrong with you? You're supposed to criticize me. You're supposed to tell me whatever. You're going to figure it out. The reason, you know what, I stopped drinking, she never told me, don't drink. You want to drink, drink. Like, what are you supposed to be mad? No, drink. Or did another one. Did it. And then suddenly I was like, I want to drink because I could.
Yeah.
It doesn't give me like hiding, the counting, and suddenly I woke up one day like, I went through the process.
Yeah.
And suddenly, but you gave me permission to, she gave me the permission, just do you. You're going to get sick of it. And guess what? I came up on my own. That shit doesn't serve. But like at the Rams. Yeah. Like, give me an examples. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
No judgment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my partner is not judging me. When she gets emotional, this is.
These are my buddies. And I stick to my buddies, but we don't live in ultimatums and definitely don't live in any fatal space where there's anything productive in tearing down. So I think that's always like my values are first. So those are things I believe very strong in. And I also think that it was very clear that even for Jarek to tell you that the first 6 months he thought that I might have had a nefarious purpose for being around. There were several indicators as I got to know him that he wasn't operating in a space of feeling safe, feeling I don't know the best way to put it, but I could tell that he had been hindered from feeling like, I guess sick is the best word. And so for me it was always important to not be a part of that system and to make sure that he had safe space and that it just operated.
And a different system, different upbringing. My entire life, I have to earn love. With my parents, I have to earn love. I have to be better. I have to do better in school. I have to be better utterly. I have to perform. Then I'm getting goosebumps. Then through the relationship, I always have to, if I'm not performing, if I'm not doing better, I'm not providing value, then I'm not being loved. So my love was always conditional. And she showed me in a short period of time, like, love is unconditional. I'm looking for who you are. When you fuck the shit up, like, I still love you. I'm not liking it, but let be you. So then what happened is I could just resolve all the issues, and I'm a working process. Let's be honest with you, I'm a working process, and we talk about it like this is gonna be forever. Like, we evolve, man, and that's why we even do the podcast. It's a progress, but my progress stopped because I figured that it doesn't matter what I do, I'm not enough.
Yeah, we had been stuck in that as a couple. That's why I call it the performer and the prostitute. It was like there was this transactional love.
Yeah.
When we got together when Danielle was 18. Met her when she was 18 years old. She really only met her with me. We got married when she was 20. I was divorced, I had a son. She was 25, 27 when we got married, she's 20. I've been together for 24 years. So we cried on through the gamut watching her get to experience that. But for most of our relationship, Danielle wasn't safe to share.
But even to put some context behind that. So I grew up, my parents were entrepreneurs. I grew up in like a 12,000 square foot home. He grew up in a totally different environment, like literally like trailers, like small towns. And so I loved him and saw him for who he was. Like, people were like, who's this guy you're dating? My mom was like, you're crazy. Who's this guy you're dating? She told me, there's lots of fish in the sea. Like, move on. And and I'm like, because here I am, 18, and meet this guy. He's been married, divorced, has a kid, doesn't come from money. And I'm like, I felt like I saw him for who he is, right? But as we got married, because of how I was raised, he kind of felt like he had to perform, like to show up for me. And I was like, no, I need to remind you when I met you, you had a piece of shit $500 car. Like, I knew who you were. So, but I can understand it. I think that men get to this place to show your value. You're constantly performing till you get to this point where you're like, he even like just this last year, he's like, I'm tired of performing. And like how he's calmed down, and I'm like, yeah, you're safe. Like, I'm not here to see you perform. Although I love seeing you on stages and seeing this piece of you come out. When you're home with me, like, I prefer you don't perform. I prefer you kind of be home, be you.
Most guys have been, I know Jared, we were talking about that the other food was most of the same that raised into that phrase, hasn't it? Which is, to earn your love as our woman, we must constantly double the ante. The challenge we got into was I had created such an abundant world around her that she lost all sense of herself. From nannies to cleaners to shoppers to assistants to everything had become so padded. I thought I was providing a life that she wanted.
I was overwhelmed.
Only to have created a prison in a palace. Like a literally, you got the Ferrari, great. You want the earth, great. You want a strip, great. You want this necklace, done. You want this ring, finish. That's a problem, I'll hire someone. I don't want to do that, but I'll get people to do it. I'll get people to do that for you. Not realizing the whole time, all of my behavior was actually attempting to prove my worthiness, to have her from the beginning, only to recognize she'd already chosen me before I'd given her all the shit.
But
how did you come into the relationship with that frame? Because we're around hundreds and hundreds of couples with Wake Up Warrior who are trapped. I'm calling them a performer prostitute. And then me is like, hey, I'm going to perform for you this way. You fuck me. I'll provide shit and we'll have some good conversations. I want you to fuck me on demand. I'm going to buy you whatever you want. This prostitution game opens up in marriage, which the only time I saw was sitting at a table with a bunch of my guys in San Francisco at this conference. And one of our guys was like, he got divorced and he'd hire a bunch of escorts. And some of the guys were like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And then one of the dudes who was there with us, he'd been in a program for like 10 years ago. At least he's honest about it. That's what we're talking about. He said, let's talk about this with her. How many of you buy shit for your wife so she bucks you? How many of you just think if you keep buying more stuff, you're going to earn more physical and emotional affection from your wife? And you expect it. He's like, look at us. We all married prostitutes and they all agreed to it, but I didn't even know they were. And it's not like, I'm not talking about like prostitution, but like the energy of training.
They shade it.
That's you brought a good point. Over comfortable good about it. She is like, listen, I cannot fuck you on a phone. If there is something, like you have to understand that there's something going on. I have to feel the energy. This is like, I know that's what you used to your previous relationships. It does work with me. I'm not like that. I need you. I need you to be present. I don't give a fuck about all the other stuff. And then, of course, then I'm coming in, and you know where I'm coming from. Well, look at the lie. You go, oh, what did? And it's like, I don't care. How about you? I don't people like, I cannot even have sex with you right now. Like, you're not even here.
I think it's the dynamic, too. The dynamic is, in the relationship, all I have to do is pay the bills and give you things, and my side of the relationship is done. You need to take care of all these other things and me the things that I want in order for your side of the relationship to be done. And I think that's for me to be hyper independent before I met you and then come into this space where you're basically saying, you don't have to work. I'll buy the things that you want. That's how I'm going to show up in the relationship. And what else could you want? And for me, it's I can do these things for myself. I never asked for the excess. For me, I'm a good partner. And I think that's where we kind of missed is I'm saying I'm not a prostitute. I have been able to be the provider for so many years. I have this hyper independence, which it could be a gift to our purse.
Sure.
And I don't want to be made to feel like a prostitute because that's the way you're making me feel right now. I bought you this, I can do what I want. And I'm like, wait, hold on a minute. I lived in a condo. I had a cute car. I was doing great by myself. So that necklace isn't going to buy you whatever you want from me. I would actually prefer it. And this is literally happened
A lot.
I prefer romance. I like effort in not material things, but in sentimental things. The first time Jarek tried to make a gesture of sentiment.
Yeah, no, don't put on camera.
He Googled how to be romantic and sent me a edible arrangement.
There you go. Hey, I've asked ChatGPT to send.
Did he deliver it? Did you deliver it?
He said no.
Truth to stay, Yannick has never bought me a gift himself. My daughter buys it. His daughter buys it. He did pick out my ring. I sent him a picture of what I wanted, but he did that. But it's to him, it's a like gift. So who cares where it came from? Or your daughter picked it out. I paid for it, so you still got a gift. And for me, I want it to be something you picked out for me. And we have this miss. It's for him. He's done
buying it, going to the store. For her is the process, and because you have everything, everybody does all the sugar. Yeah, and it's like
Because you guys can pay in a deal for you.
exactly, and that's what she's like.
We're like, dude, we are the source of all this curse.
Yeah,
our second and buy. Yeah, on the flower store.
Yeah,
Yeah, so he started like bringing flowers at work at home. I'm like, that's so cute. And then all of a sudden I'm getting flower arrangements delivered to the house once a week instead of him physically giving me, or twice a week, I don't remember. He's like, instead of him physically going and kicking him up, and then he's like, why do you care? They're getting delivered. And I was like, I thought it was cute that you went out of your way during your work day. You picked them up and I got them over.
Bro, I was there at the flower shop with the owner, and I was like the third weekend at doing it. I was like, I bet you there's a way to automate this. Yeah, thought to the owner, I was like, hey, listen, so what would it take for me to have you deliver? You just create a bouquet. I don't care what it looks like, just make it all.
Let's just do this without a guy's mouth.
But let's it's $1 a bouquet. That's probably good, right? I'm like, how big is that? Oh, yeah, that's good. So that size. Okay, so you're going to do 2 times a week. I said, here's a challenge. You can't deliver them on the same day at the same time. She's going to know the gig's up. So,
I need to get
kiss that bill, because says why they wouldn't savvy you acting like they only deliver on these days and these days. Like, well, what would it take for you to deliver on that day and the next week, that day and then at that time and at this time? He said, yeah, we can't do it. I was like, all right, fuckers, we'll make a run at it. Within 2 weeks, he doing it. That's exactly what she wanted. So I was like, so.
I want you to want to get showers.
All right. So this, all right.
Guess a miss right there. Yeah.
But that miss is not just you guys and us. I'm telling you, this is how we were trained again. We were trained in transactional love. We provide, you put up. This is what we've been taught from the time we were born. And when you start to become more successful, to most of the guys who are around, this is the world they operate. Transactional. It's why marriage end. And then Miami has just a great pull of transactional women where you can just go get, which we think will bring us at.
Yes. Yeah.
Only to find out it's this challenging woman and this challenging independent woman who has her own money who look at us and they call the bluff. Which for guys that are used to transactional shit, we're like, I don't understand what it's not worth.
They do order it in Miami, whatever.
Yeah, it's
But you're like, I don't need you. Like, what does it say? Well, why would you date? Like,
They don't really feel valued. And so, like, many times it was like, it didn't like it. I could tell it didn't like it.
yeah. It's interesting because Garrett, he had to remind me because I could, like, I want you to come help in their business, or I want you to come do this. He's like, well, you don't understand. I've hired Anna and Jeff and all these people to support you. And I was like,
that story. These 7 people I hired personally to help you.
We don't.
well, I was trying to tell him, I was like, I'm have to work on being like, I do appreciate this lifestyle. I do appreciate that. But also, it means a lot to me if I can just get a little bit of your time, attention, and validation. You know, I'm like, it to me, because you're so busy, I know you can put that in another area. It means a lot that you put it into me and you care. It shows you care about right.
And then you feel guilty for feeling that way.
Yeah.
Because feeling guys in my mouth is your last say.
Yeah.
It's such a book.
It's a balance.
And then you feel guilty. So, like, you kind of back down. And then it's like,
but then you don't voice what you want. And then you get resentful because you're like, I fucking want you to want to give me flowers.
yeah. And it goes like that.
Just to validate what you said, my first wife said the same thing to me. I'm like, yeah, whatever, we have all the money, right? The second wife said exactly the same one. And I still did not get the message. You know, because we are so freaking dumb. Like, we stubborn. We just like, we not, we just like, hey. When she said it, I was like, oh shit. Like, I want you present. I'm like,
Did you? I know what that meant when she asked you that first time.
well, she did not ask me that way. But she's like, I don't care about the other stuff. Like, I don't care about the money. I don't care about anything. I want you. She did not, I don't think you said the word presence. Remember we were fighting Ed and outside. But then I kind of like, she wants me to be present. And then also when they, at the same time, they was watching something or reading something and it was about kids, the kids want Their love language is they want presents. They don't care about the car. They don't care about the trips. My kids don't care about anything. She took me on the trip, other breakfast with my son. At that time, we met, and she was like, what do you like to do with your dad? And I'm like, watch this. Like, they're now gonna, like, dad takes me to all the games, to the finals, the front seat, the boxes, bike rides, ski, helicopters, like all this, yacht on the Mediterranean. Yeah, go, tell what he likes to do with your dad. And he goes, I like to watch movie with my dad.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay. Go, what else? And you're not going what he said. I like to watch movie with my dad, but he doesn't have. So I can stop the movie, we can talk about. Oh, look. Fuck. Wow. So that's what she's talking about. That's what my kids are talking about.
Right.
We there, but we never there.
Right. And I think the argument you're talking about, the crux of the argument, your stance was, I provide all of this. How dare you? Yeah. And I don't. For me, it was like, I didn't ask for none of this, which makes me feel horrible for saying it because, again, I'm very glass and it's a beautiful thing. But to throw it in my face as though I should concede from whatever we're arguing about because you provide it no longer makes it a blessing. It now makes it a burden. A burden, but also that prison you're talking about because it's a beautiful cage. And it doesn't feel good anymore. It feels like an obligation and like your right to do things that might cause me pain or make me feel bad or make me feel less than in a partnership that should feel good. And so I think that was when it became something where it was like, this is not, I'm not going to say what we signed up for, but this isn't what you envision when you think of things like that. So I think that's where it became, a point in our conversation.
I think all relationships go there, though, because in the beginning, you're going to have chemistry and you kind of don't really, that's why you're together. And then you get to this place where it's like, I think the guys, high producing guys, are like, you should be grateful. And it's our job to like calm back down to earth.
What it starts, we are equal. But what happened, we separate ourselves. I do this, you do this. And we build that transactional relationship. And I know that we are equal.
Well,
men as women, color, social status, we are equal. We want so. But yet, just from the beginning, we're programmed by parents, unconsciously by grandparents, that's what we have to do. Like we said, that's men. We only have value to put on social media. Men only have value. They're okay, they have to provide value. They have to, like, that. It's not true.
Well, it's also a shock, which I'm sure was a shock for you. To be in a place with this beautiful woman who's saying, yeah, all your stuff doesn't impress me. I just wanted you. And for me, when Danielle would say this, like, she got very open with me in the last 4 or 5 years. And I would say the first.
What? I like guilty because we got to this place where we like bought our dream home in California. We had every car that we wanted. And I was like, why am I I kept telling myself, like, I just need to be grateful. And in this space, like, I was getting more and more depressed. And I felt like I couldn't burden him with my feelings. I should be grateful. So I can't share, like, hey, I want more of your time. Or I want more of your presence. Because I am grateful that he's out there hunting and building. And I do like this lifestyle. But I got in such a painful spot where I was like, okay, I'll sell the house. I'll get rid of cars. Like, I don't have you. I'm dying. And I'm like, I can create on my own. I'm not worrying about paying bills. I want you. And this happened like recently. Rex.
2.5 years.
Yeah, I was like, I felt like we built this picture of perfect life. I've been married for almost 20 years at that point. And I was like, what is bought? I couldn't figure it out. And it was because I was like, oh, it turns out I actually would give it all back if I could get you back,
Which was I was feeling it too for a few years. I just didn't know how to put language on it. So I just started building bigger house. I thought the answer was bigger. What I didn't realize was happening was I had built literally a prison in abundance and had surrounded my life with, and I didn't know why sex had become an obligation and why, which I couldn't figure out. I'm taking this woman out 2 nights a week on date day. I've got homeschool teachers. I've got 3 nannies. We live in a 15,000 square foot house on the beach in Orange County.
Your whole like your
She's got the Euro, she's got things, she's got the trainer, she's got the fucking jewelry. I'm like, what the fuck am I missing here? How am I missing this? So when she collides with me and says, I don't give a fuck about it. And he's like, how's yours? Take on the house, take the cars, take the trips, take it all. I don't care. I can't feel you anymore. And if I can't feel you, there's no possible way I'm staying here. I'm not going to cheat on you. Too high value for that. I can make my own money, have my own hair brand, have my own stuff. I don't need any of this shit. Here, you figure your shit out, or I'm fine. And then I got the text every day. He's my own statements. If the king does rise, the kingdom dies. And don't worry, the queen leaves with the children before.
You think I text that a little
Did as I did
What text?
one time is enough. Because it buried deep. Every guy was spiraling for months. Like, I didn't know. I was like, here I am, found our wake-up boiler, training tens of thousands of men. Gotten to the point where, for the first time in my life, I was like,
Well, there's
only thing I dare
about how dare you like for months. It's like, how dare you? And I was like,
It's ego.
yeah.
Oh, example, the devil it's hard to hear the truth. But they hear the truth, it was the wake-up call. And she does the shit to me. And I was like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And sometimes I got afraid, I have the routine of the ocean, like, when is it going to stop? And it's never going to stop. I think the challenge is the growth. Because what happens is we cannot stop learning. And how do you learn to be present? It's constant game. You cannot just stop being present. You got to be at this moment. And that's what you want. And that's not good. But the problem is that's what we want.
Right.
We want the same shit. We have a different way of communicating. And then what happened? We got validation from outside. Yeah, you the man. You thought this. You got this. Shut the fuck up. I don't have shit. I don't have myself. I cannot be there for you because I could not be there for myself. And she gave me the permission to just, hey, go on your own freaking journey. Figure this shit out. I'm here.
Jessica, how do you source that strength in yourself to be? Is it because you've been down the path where you were produced and you were the provider and you were in that spot? And I'm asking this question for a lot of the women that are asking, because Danielle's brought this up on their show too. It is terrible. Like, I can't imagine. I put myself in the last year in her shoes in a way I'd never been able to, spiritually, mentally, just do my best to see what it's been like to be with me. Like, I've only looked at it from here. Like, you're so lucky. Then I flipped and I thought, what's it like being married to a psychopath who leverages money to manipulate everything? Everyone. Nothing is a no. It's a no.
Well, here's the
Here it's a no, but let's pretend it was a yes. Like, what would yes have to look like? Well, it's not a no. It's a no. Is it a no? I don't think it's a no. How about let's talk a little bit? I think it's really a yes. You want us a yes? How about we figure out what it's going to cost? Make it a yes. And that was the world I lived in, and she wasn't buying my bullshit at all with this. And that was so hard, but she couldn't speak to it. So coming into the relationship with a man who's established, powerful, has money, has wealth, has tons of women that would be happy to sign up for transactional love, has
You have better in my book.
tons of people
And not be my book.
who are ready to line up for it. Like, you show up as a cliche. Not a girl, not a woman, not a transactional lover, as a queen. And this is the hardest for guys who've actually been searching for a queen their whole life, because they show up different. Like, what is it you do as a woman to source strength in yourself when you're with a man that could legitimately steamroll any room he walks into? Between networks, relationship, and resource, could get whatever he wants.
You get to know the representative in the beginning. So in the beginning, it was easy because it was fun and exciting and charming. Because it, in the beginning, it's never directed at you. It's never, so it was always, watching him kind of in these environments where I'm kind of from the outside. So as I became on the inside and start seeing things for what they really were and what that meant for me and how that affected my day, I went through a place and time where it affected me so deeply that I think the way I internalized it was, I need to be better because this shouldn't bother me. I need to change. I need to work harder at this. I need to find ways to cope with this because I'm a problem. It's few and far between where things challenge me in a way that I can't figure it out and keep moving. So in this situation, it was like, okay, because it's not only him, he had 4 children that were coming from a marriage, and that was an uphill battle for me. How exponentially. And so there was like this added weight and responsibility of not misstepping in front of all these young people that I don't want to add any type of injury to. So um, it was a learning curve. I think when I started to learn, rather than blaming him for things that were a challenge, I started to learn how to understand my role in expectations, and I was always trying to fix and solve and put my expectations on everything. And when I learned how to kind of back up and fly above kind of those types of minute things that were really like, I would hold on to something and like rabbit hole in it for a week. Like, I'm not sleeping. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to fix it. And it must have something I did and replay the conversation 6 times and then try to fix it and then replay it again. I mean, it was just like rabbit hole after rabbit hole. So when I started to really be able to take myself out and look at things at a macro level, it suited me a lot better. I'm now in a space where my daughter just turned, she's 19 now, and I raised her by myself. So it was always like, when she turns 18, I'll be able to turn my focus back on myself. I told myself that for the last 18 years, that that's when it'll be me first, and then, you know, everything else, because it's always her first, what's best for her. And so in the last year, I kind of lost sight of that, because now it's Jarek, and he's got 4 children, and his needs and his world had kind of become my world. And so all of the things are important to him. So again, like, just looking at things from a macro standpoint, it's put me in a place of like relearning how to be myself and what it looks like. And it doesn't mean it has to look like the way it used to be, the way it used to before him. But that's been like a huge struggle. And then making sure that I don't resent him for all of this, because it's a lot to figure out and a lot to sort through. And it's very easy to be like, well, it's his fault. He did this. This is, and I would be having problems for him, or I would have these feelings. So even try to keep myself out of that space and really just work through it. It's good constant work for me, because it's just very easy to fall into all of those ruts.
What would take you down the rabbit hole? Like when you'd say, like, something would stress you out and it would just really, how do I fix this? Because I think women put a lot of like guilt and pressure on themselves. And they're like, I don't want to break it. Should I bring this out? Should I not? Maybe it's me. Maybe I need to fix it. And you do, and you're right. Like, you move sleeko at Chepas. Yeah. And then you like one day blow up on me, right? Okay, this is actually really bothering me and I'm trying to fix it. But what I really need to do is communicate it. Is there something specific like that you feel like for women that they kind of spiral or rabbit hole when it's like, hey, maybe I need to direct this, like, have a conversation with my husband?
I think for us, it's been in our household, because it's, especially when we first got together, it was his home that I came into and his children. And so there was like this feeling of, even though I'm the woman of the household, I don't feel like this is my home. I don't feel like I'm in control of anything. I don't feel like I can run this household. So I was running it from a secondary position. And for him, it was like, where I just take control. And it's like, well, these aren't my children. I don't feel good. You know, if it was my child, I'd get right in there, and it's how I want to handle it. But out of respect for him, I don't want to, and out of respect for their mother, and out of respect of this home. And I just didn't really feel like I fit anywhere. And so it was like this space of like, how do I bring it up? I don't want to be too, I want to attack him. I want to be, I don't want to make him feel like he's not doing good enough. I don't want to make him feel, so it was like, again, I put, he's not even thinking, he's sleeping well at night. And I'm like, I wonder if he'll be mad. You know, wonder if he'll be okay if I do this. And what if I leave, just do a little bit? And but then it was the overthinking and the overprocessing. It's like, I have to make it perfect. And for him, like, a good example would be the first Christmas. I got ready for the first Christmas with his family for 3 months. And it was a very big deal for me. Nobody was cared. And so when nobody else who walked in the door was like, oh my God. I was like, I failed. And I feel respected to myself all day. I made up this entire reality around these things that I needed to validate myself. And I want these people to like me. And so as I learned at a later time, I was like, I did this to myself. I put this on myself. I completely put myself in this position of, this is it. Literally, Christmas became D-Day in my mind. Yeah, it has to make or break. These people, you know, and his family is so, Eastern European. But they were like,
Two feelings. There's no.
what's next? Like, what are we doing? And I was like, did you see? I mean, it was just like, it was a perfect storm that I created. And the reality of me being the one that created this whole thing for myself and being able to kind of laugh at myself about it and being able to understand it now when I feel myself starting into it, when it's, these outside triggers that I can't control. It's laughing at myself for wanting to control something that I was controlling, right? Wanting to control other people's reactions to the thing. It was just like, I'm not going to.
And then you're upset and I have no idea why. You're like, what?
And so it like perpetuates and it becomes like this snowball of thing. And by the time I explode, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, but then we do lecture ourselves. Like, we do. It's like we have to just like let it go.
Or when we can choose the battle.
Yes. Or if it bugs you, like, communicate
without putting it onto somebody. Like that has been a huge challenge, but getting to that place has completely changed my ability to like kind of go through things in a nice way.
I feel like to hear it, it's interesting because there's stuff that'll like trigger me and I want to communicate, but it's like he doesn't hear it. And unfortunately, I got to be a bitch sometimes. Like, I'm sorry, but that like, because I got a little spicy or what they're going to say it the next day, he's like, oh shit. I'm like, yeah. And I'm trying to tell you this like as gently as possible. And you wanted a really soft delivery. You didn't receive the soft delivery. So like the bitch Danielle came out. And it was soft hours 10. Yeah.
But you were here at the sub delivery, but you're not communicating with the sub delivery.
Well, no, because when it's
like,
God, she doesn't care that much. So
yeah. How do you just tell us like we have to?
a little more.
It's how many times how many times she's just like, listen, Jarek is not here. I'm like, no, I'm not here. And it's like, no, he's doing this like so she knows like how could get my attention. But with me, when it's comes to her needs, it's like she just mentioned by passing. I'm like, oh, it's not important. I just like, and then the second and then the first time.
Yeah.
I got some.
I first time, but I was like, what?
Like, guys, I see it comes out of the boil.
What? It is like, why did you tell me that?
And then I'll be like, it's staying at 1:40, the Monday before 6 p.m. and Sunday after. And we were to the point where like
That's not what you said.
This is the translation spot, right? Which is where I'm so proud of myself in the last 2 months.
You've gotten better.
2 months. Listen, 2 months might as well be 200 years and fucking practice.
Second, we think we got it. Go now.
Oh, bro, I know. It's like, it's been 2 or 3 weeks. I'm like, it's at least 4 or 5 weeks I've been this great. What are you talking about? But this was like us, like what you're talking about is what she would do. And then she wouldn't, I would think she's not talking about it. She would say things, and I'm like, I'm like, just like you, I'm like,
I think he didn't sense the importance of it until I was like irritated.
if Vasilvo comes to me, it's like, money. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, I got some shit here. It's like, I didn't know that was a sign that we were supposed to sit and talk about a big problem that's going on in the P&L right now. Right? So my world is, if there's not urgency brought behind it, unfortunately, I'm like, okay, sounds good. Talk to Jeanette, put it on the calendar. Like, I don't, okay, it's good, yeah, okay.
Or sometimes go in a problem solving mode because all men do. And I'm like, okay, I feel like he's telling me everything I'm doing wrong. So then I'm like, never mind. I don't know how to it. Like, and it's like you're telling me everything I'm doing wrong, but I know you're a problem solver and you're talk to any employee like this, go to your wife. And he's like, do you want my wife or I'm working it? I'm confused in my role. I'm like, you need to do both.
Problem. So here's my new strategy. Ready?
I'm
Good.
Okay. His work. Okay, I fucked up once last night, so that was rough.
Last night?
Yeah, I lost some shit about her teenager. Well,
Yeah, I was like, wow, you don't
like, no, not at all. So I started looking at this from a totally different space. And I thought, okay, obviously what I'm doing is not working. Clear. She's very clear that it's not working. I'm like, all right. So how do I deal with this reactivity thing? So biblically speaking, which I'm very casual in the Bible the last couple of years, but I don't look at the Bible the way that most Christians look at the Bible and the way they read it like a history book. I'm looking for something origin, Genesis. Like, what is the purpose of beauty, truly? So I came back to a truth for me. It's very true right now. I'm very passionate about, which is, okay, the original man, Adam, was given a woman, and his role was to contain, not to control, contain all of what the feminine is. And I've heard this forever, how do I do this? And containment gets interpreted like control. I'm not supposed to control or dominate you, but I must be able to contain all of it. The full range. The fiery fucking bitch down here who's ready to stab me in the neck and throw shit. And the loving, sensitive, divine goddess is all of it. So I was like, okay, Adam had the original containment. Eve took a fruit. He followed, and then he fucked up. Hid from God, and then did the worst. Blamed his wife. So I was like, what if you could just contain all of it? Like that, as a man, you contain all of it. In business, you walk into a place of business, walk into a deal, people losing their shit. You likely get calmer, quieter, and you contain all of it and watch. Me too. Walking the border, people losing their shit, like quietest guy that contains all the chaos. Typically has the toe. But in this relationship, for some reason, I forget all that shit out there, and then I'll listen, and then she'll come to block mode, and my response for many years was
Reactive.
white apple, listen, and then erupt to meet the fire. So her fire's out, and my fire's out, and it's fuck you, pop this, pop that, broken glass. And they went, not job E for 2 days. Never mind. There's 1,000 other women that wouldn't get in this shit out there right now. This is fucking bullshit. She's like, then you fucking better go find them, because I'm not going to tolerate this shit anymore. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about for all the shit I'm giving you. What the fuck, woman? I never asked for any of this shit. What's wrong with you? I said, fuck off. I'm going to take your cars back. I'm taking all this shit back. I'm burning this shit. Burning it all down. I never asked for it in the first place. You didn't really fucking care when you bought it. I'm like, fuck you. And then we're like,
What's happened?
what was happening? And the next morning it's just weird, like
You just really mad. Oh God. Spring up in.
what just happened? Huh? What just happened? So then the frame comes like, can I contain it all? So like now I'm like in the last 2 months, it's just place it like, hey, she's obviously got something she's trying to tell me that I didn't hear. That's the new frame. Like, if she's freaking out this much, there's likely 14 messages that I did not get through the ethos of feminine text messages that were sent into God knows where with pigeons I don't know about.
How do we miss the message?
I do or dudes. We don't have a jam on this shit. You and I were creating a performance households where it's a very simple transaction. I gig you salary, you deliver these results. The end. Very clear. Roll. My role. Give job. Your job. Do this shit. You don't do this shit, it's really clear you fucked up. These two don't play in Meg. And I couldn't figure Barline away for 22 years. Couldn't figure this out till
She would always want me to share more, and then I was like, okay, so I'd try to be better about sharing, but ultimately I was like, I share too much, is it going to cause a fight? Or is it going to cause, and then I'm like, I don't really want to fight, but I want to tell you how I'm feeling about something without you being offended.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like a slippery slope, but at the same time too, I think like having guys' reactivity sometimes, like I would make it worse. And one of Amanda, actually, one of my friends recently, she's like, okay, I have a trick for you. When he gets like that, he's out of his mind. He's in his ego. You can't reason with him. She's like, anything you say from there on out, it's just going to make it worse. She's like, so what you need to do, she's like, I guess this. She's like, just walk away, then come back, put your hand on his heart and just be like, babe, I love you. Calm down. I appreciate you. Thank you for all you do for our family. And she goes, just spend like 3 or 4 minutes like pouring into him. And she goes, watch, it will melt him. He will forget what he was even like had an opinion about. So I did it on a date night. And he was literally like, I watched his whole body like go, oh, and I was like,
I'm sure I was really uncomfortable.
you were a couple.
Yeah. No, I loved it. I was really,
Well, you were like, thank you.
but because here I am, I'm like, is it fuck this?
He was so angry. And I'm like, you can't be angry if I'm coming.
And she was like coming at me with this like,
Did you trust it? Where you're like,
well, it literally took me 2 minutes to my outcome. I was just like, and the same thought you have for 6 months. Is this a setup? Why are you doing this right now? Right there. Yeah. How this is new. I don't understand how we're so into this right now. All I know is meat, fire, or fire. So I'm not sure what to do with this right now because you're melting at a different fire. On the flip side, she'll lose her shit in the last couple of months. And I'm just.
School speaks, sir.
But let's talk about holding space. Let's define, because a lot of people don't know what holding space is, and sometimes holding space doesn't mean shit because I was holding space for fucking ever for 20 years, and I was just putting everything on the carpet. It's not holding space. So holding space is not okay. I'm gonna give you like sometimes when I hear whole space, I'm like, how much space you want me to freaking hold? And I do with the container, but at some point you have to address the issue for sure. Holding space, it doesn't mean that, like you said, like without a container, like the control. And I love what you said, that we should try to control each other. Like, this is the biggest fight that we have. It's control. We don't fight about anything else. Like, the stupid shit is truly control. But we want to contain it, right? But how do we hold space? And I love what you just, like, this is, like, really, but what would you expect for him to do for you? Because I love this for me. Like, I would love that. But what would you, like, want Garrett to do for you if you lose your shit?
Like if I'm in one of my modes,
Just go through a tribulity.
I do appreciate, because in the past when I'm like upset, whether I'm upset or emotional, like I need to feel safe that I can be in that space. And what he has been doing recently is just literally kind of being quiet and like not getting triggered. Because what he would do in the past is he's so good at reframing. So he'd reframe it, and then sometimes I feel like maybe I was wrong. Like it would just kind of like the argument would twist, and so now I feel like he's actually hearing me. So and then the next day I feel like we're in like a space, or in the next couple hours we kind of like we're in a space where now we can both actually have a conversation, which we have done. Like I'm like, we just need a minute, and now like we're both kind of cooled down, and now we can actually talk about it. Because I think when you get so heated, then that's when you get in the stupid argument, or you repeat, patterns, and you keep recircling these same fights because you can't get past trigger. So for us, I'd notice, okay, if you can get past the trigger, then you can have a real conversation of what just happened. Otherwise, you're going to like, we've done it in periods of our relationship where, we're having the same argument. Why? Because we never got to resolution. We never actually calmed down to actually talk about it. We just had an awkward morning and then decided to forget about it.
Here's the hardest part, dude. The hardest part for me is to come to one truth that has been the most difficult for me to own as a man. I am the container of the chaos. And Christians in my home, my life, and my children. In the end, if containment breaks and things go to chaos and I can't hold it, it's on me. I had not wanted to accept this. I remember therapy sessions we've been in on Life K. When the fuck are we going to talk about her shit? There's an action to the reaction. I am tired of talking about my reaction. I'm tired of being told I'm a tsunami, and she's a giant little lily over here, and my tsunami is drowning. If you give me one more fucking analogy of this, I swear about my legal space. And I was always looking for, when is she going to get it? And then I got to this place where I was like, what if she's never going to get it? What if the point is not for her to get it? What if the reason you and I are with these women is because they are the only type of woman who can forge true kingship, which is ultimate containment, immovability.
I'm not fighting with you. 2 days ago, I was meditating in the ocean at the ritual, and that's really truly what it came up. Because what happened is, the higher her awareness gets, and my awareness and the consciousness level, the more we fight, but it's just another thing to bring us to the next level. Yeah. And truly, like 2-3 days ago, I really had the breakthrough. Is like, this shit's never go out. That's what but when I look at where we were, 5-6 years ago, and where we here, like, I could not even dream about this shit. Yeah. And I think that the fights are getting maybe stronger, but resolved quickly. And it's like, because we had more shit, there's still but it's, and I just realized is, at the end, you guys will never stop. We will never stop. We humans, and we're always gonna fuck up shit. But this is, me. But just taking the ownership and understanding this, like, our fight is always like, take it fucking ownership, take accountability, like this, and then I'm like, finger in her and spear me.
I just sent him a ring cam.
I do this shit all.
What?
Oh, right here, my group. Oh, I'm not telling you.
We have a surveillance in our family.
Rather,
Brought him.
this was like, and I did a real like,
You're not even gonna do this. I'm just sending the ring cam.
dude, you know what she did? We were like, we got in fight the night before, dude. And I make it like, seriously, I don't know how much impact that had. You see, that's all we've been doing this. So people know. I got mad at her. I don't remember whatever. Like, that's exactly what you were saying, the fights, right? That she lost her shit, all that's my shit. It doesn't work, right? And then, and the whole night, I'm ruminating. This was fuck this shit. I'm doing this shit. Like, oh, she's gonna take accountability. Fucking bitch. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. So the whole night, like, right, my brain's fucking going, right? I wake up in the morning. I'm making fucking coffee. She's like in city, you know. And listen, that's what I cut. That's what I said. So I'm leaving with the coffee, right? And she's sitting there, like right there, like where Sam sits, right? And I'm like, you know, I'm sick. It's time for you to get accountability and ownership, all this shit, all the time, blah, blah, blah. And then I went outside to where we were sitting with the part of the street, right? And I'm sitting. I got her. Like, I did it. I got to, I put,
The narrator's
and I was like, you know, it's all I got all the validation. Suddenly, ding, text message from her. I was like, oh, fuck. I got this, you did good, you got this shit. Dude, this is not, and you can like, you know, I don't know, I'm embarrassed to show the video. Yeah, I did this right in front of the freaking ring camera. So she cuts the thing. It's like a 30 seconds video. And I'm like watching this. What the fuck? This is not me.
It's also not the way you recounted that.
Then I'm sitting again, I'm watching this. My cue drops. Motherfucker, that's not me. I know it's me. But in my head, it was completely different. Dude, I was ready to hate her. Like, I was like, what? Like, I know, like, with a coffee, like, standing, like, labely, like, holy, like, my whole body, the egg, I was shaking. I was screaming. I was like, what the fuck? Completely different. And like I just went like outside, like by the water, start meditating, praying, start crying. What the fuck? Like I'm preaching, I'm teaching, and I'm the monster. But first time I saw it, and that's not even what she felt. She felt probably a billion times more than the camera. But me seeing it, my reaction, it was like,
What was like that, Jessica, for you when you sent it? And then you watched the response. Like, where are you at in that?
I think that what I have learned with Jarek is that he is that range of emotion that he just told you about, where he really honestly felt like the way that he communicated was the best way and that he did what he was supposed to, and he got beat, like, he won, right? I knew that he felt that way. I knew that he didn't feel as though he had done anything wrong. You can't argue that. It's a fool's mission. So I actually, for me to send in the ring cam rather than engaging in more conversation, going back and forth, when I did that, I actually kind of chuckled to myself because I was like, hey, this could go one of two ways. I wasn't quite sure how he's going to respond, right? But for me, it was, I'm not getting in the dirt when we kind of go into these spaces, because I spent so much time past doing that where I get in the mud and it turns into a day of the back and forth and shittier and shittier. And like you said, just for us later on to be like, so do you want to catch dinner? And so we don't have to waste a whole day doing this. Let me just nib it in the bud. I'm not engaging anymore. So I think that's part of me kind of growing up in like, do I need to win or do I need to, in this case, it was I need to hold a mirror. His behavior was crazy. I don't want to get in the mud with them and stoop in that level, because sometimes you have to, in order for them to pay attention, you have to raise your voice. You have to make just as crazy. It wasn't, but I was enjoying my coffee. Sage make.
like did you see the real what I did?
I did, but I think that there was actually a conversation I had with Bumble that I never forgot, where he said, when Jarek is not acting like a king, don't expect for him to treat you like a queen, and don't let him. I remember him saying that queens don't deal with pedants. And so when he's not acting like a king, he's out here doing peasant shit. Let him be a peasant by himself. Go do peasant shit. So you go outside and do that. I'm going to send you a little ring cam. And I just waited. But I just stopped dealing with the minutiae of like when he gets into that space. Because there's nothing to be gained. You know that. It's just going to revolt your days. Right. So I've literally gotten into the space of have the day you deserve by yourself.
Yeah, that thing that are saying, like you two as women, and the few women I know who can pull this off, is because you both see yourself from a higher place of certainty and soul alignment. And the thing that men are actually after is this. But the hardest thing for a man to pursue and to maintain is this. Because we live as false kings in wealth, acting like that.
But do you think that men might think it's easier to be married to a transactional woman? So they're like, I don't need this shit.
No, I've been no 20 years. Believe me, it doesn't work. You get miserable because what happened is saying shit over and over and over. It doesn't get you.
Right.
Serious.
So it seems easier when you're miserable.
It's no.
But you're also not being held accountable or to a standard. The 8 beer is acceptable.
You know what? I was very successful before I met her, but I can tell you, I accomplished more in 2 years than in 30 years before I met her. What happened is all the challenges that are even like, well, fuck you, bitch, fuck you, dude, fuck, whatever, all the fucks you want to have. And there's that, oh, shit. And like you said, it's contained, not a control. And it's like, would you sure? I do, right? I'm not still, there's still something like you get me to the point, like, I will build, I done. Fucking 3 months later. Are you kidding? Not that we passed this shit. And it's like, we go, we get it, and then we gotta go move back. And then again, but if I'm looking in the right now, sitting here, I'm like looking like all this shit we've been through in the last 5-6 years, like, what the hell? Like, seriously, like, we've been together 6 years, but if we think this was story. Like, all the stuff, all the environment we've been through, and, all the stuff we are surrounded and the people, it was like, because remember, like, when she came aboard, everybody, my family, my community is like, well, who is she? Like, everybody thought that, like, well, now the one is gone, so now they're gonna be the first ones. And suddenly it took me, I would not, like, I don't know how she handled, like, all the stuff that was going on in my life, and she's still here. Like, I'm, like writing, there's no way.
Bro, the only way that's possible. Look at this women. We're wet. Stunning, beautiful, values, morals, standards. And
You're just within it.
it's moral, son. I know. And this thing for me, this is what's been so I've been together for 24 years. Like, for us to stay together and to have created what we are is not a function of my commitment. It's been a function of first. And like 2 weeks ago, I'm saying, and when we have our kids, we're doing work called stacking, which I do this mental work in the morning for tools. And God completely reframes my narrative on her to the point that I'm sitting in that kitchen sobbing for an hour by myself. Because my story has been, I've carried her for 24 years. That was my story. Yeah, just have a look, because she knows where this is going. And one all of a sudden, God reframes through everything. And I am now taking on this path of going from breaking up with her 9 times when we're dating, essentially leading her for 7-8 years to work and pursue wealth and be gone 6 days a week, 15, 16 hours a day, never around this young woman who's by herself for the day. Transactional, my desires for sex. The pregnancies, the 4 pregnancies and births, the 2 miscarriages, me traveling to speak to the world and wanting to come home and talk about the glorious conquest, yet never ask her how she's doing. Like, recognizing that for 20 plus years, the only reason we exist is because of her containment of me. And to have that put so fucking fiercely on me to the point that we go on our anniversary trip. Like, I'm like, from a place of like, what the fuck is wrong with you, to a place of, what the fuck is wrong with me?
What they said, that it takes a king to be, it takes a queen to raise a king.
Yeah, you can't zero it away. Bro, if you were with any one of 1,000 women in Miami, me too, temporary, transactional happiness, no refinement, no
fullness. She said pleasure.
no growth.
It's a
It's a pleasure dumpster.
Yeah.
It's literally a pleasure dumpster. And thousands of guys in Miami are stuck in the pleasure dumpster cycle. So everything you two represent as women, I honor you for it. And for the courage it takes, and for the scars that you take.
But I also think it's good to have you guys here in our home and being so transparent. Because I think couples, whether they've been married 5 years, 10 years, 60 years, 20 years, they think that the fight is not normal. Like you're just happily ever after. And for us, like I like that you said, it's how quickly you can move past the fight. That you don't take that fight and use it for ammunition later on a stupid argument. You're like, that happened. What did we figure out? Because but honestly, like when we have couples on the show that are like speaking truth, it gives people permission to like, hey, we're going to have an uncomfortable conversation, or we're not broken, or this is normal, or this is part of growth. And I become a bigger person, talking about kings and queens. And so I think it's just great that you guys are here being very like vulnerable and real, because I think that's why we started the show. We're like, we're not marriage therapists. We're not trying to pretend like we are. We're just trying to talk to people about what we're going through right now as we're going through it real time. And hopefully they get out about it.
That's the fallacy of social media we were talking about earlier, where it's so easy to present this beautiful home, this beautiful life, and beautiful children and beauty without showing the underbelly, which is, no, last night we had a nap down drag out, and then I sent up a ray cam and sipped my coffee. Like, it's ugly too. But then we're still able to have the beauty. The container is the beauty and the dumpster fire, and it all, it's actually very refreshing to hear you guys have the same scenarios as us, because then it not meant to normalize it in a negative way, but it lets us know that we can still be on the same path with all these flaws. It's so hard
growing. I don't think you can grow as a couple if you don't have these tough conversations. And I just don't think it's possible. I may know so many couples, and I don't mean this rude, but they settle into okay. You're okay, doing like the typical.
It's literally following.
It's
I'm going to keep buying you shit. You're going to keep fucking me.
And they'll find me.
And we're not going to fight about it. I'm not going to keep pushing my desires. And I'm just going to keep doing my thing. And this is where all the affairs, and the addition, and all those.
Or you have some that stay through it, but there's relationship seems kind of hollow. Like they settle with like a B relationship or a C relationship. And then you have people who are like, no, I want an A relationship. Because I know if you're in that kind of relationship, that ultimately that's going to push you to grow. I would not be who I am today if he didn't push me, and vice versa. I think that's what any healthy relationship should be about, is that you're going to grow simultaneously, but you should also be able to like grow together. When you see couples that are like growing like this, that to me is like a powerful couple. Because I know how hard it is. I'm sure you guys do too. And what it takes to do that together, to grow together, and to continuously push each other.
There's several guys I know right now, very dafty. They could take a run. And they're like, that's it. I'm out. Hooker. And I'm like, bro, you don't understand, that's her job. That is her bull. She is the resident expert on your bullshit. And no one in your world could call you on that more than she will. So either you could take it on as refinement and expand your capacity container, or you could quit. She's beautiful, she's powerful, and she doesn't take your shit. And you already know what's on the other side. Reliable women who will take all your shit, literally, all your money, all your time, and blow you 3 times a day. These women do not give a fuck about themselves or about you. But you had ones willing to fight with you for your greatness. And that's been the hardest thing, like, to even communicate to Daniela. Like, we have not been trained on this shit. We won the game according to the world and what they taught us from the time of redemption. So it's confusing to us as men when women who have come from Eden itself, who call us out to our max capacity, in a world where outside of us, for Jarek and I, very few people support.
She called me immediately. It's like, you surrounded by yes man. And suddenly if somebody could challenge you and you're like, you don't like that, fuck you. We're breaking up. That's it. Every time we get in a fight, get up. We know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
And it's like,
He changed his parameter in 5 days.
yeah.
You have to, because most of these men don't get it.
Yeah.
And they just, their feedback on their opinions are fucking bullshit. They don't mean anything. Because these men are after something different. They're after transactional love and submission from a woman under control. But to have a woman who is not being controlled and dominated, contained, to be everything she is and to speak out to what she sees, and to feel free to do it, which I was not that kind of husband. I was not into that kind of marriage.
So what did change you that you were okay or not okay? That you heard her challenge to open up and be figure out who you want to be. Because I did like that what I said at the beginning of the podcast. Like she gave me first time in my life, I felt like I got a permission to be me. What makes you change? I mean, you've been together so many years that she's keep screaming and yelling. You have my permission, but show up. Like what was for you?
I had built everything I thought would qualify me to be accepted in love for that exact thing. And in it, being told that I want you, and if I can't have you, I don't care about all this. It just shredded my story. And I realized that if I had all this or didn't have this woman chose me. She had the most uncomfortable yes of her life. She was 20 years old. Her family, the religion, and no one supported us being together. I had nothing. I came from nothing. Like she, of course, of her time, but I'm saying like she chose me against everybody. And I lost sight of that for 20 years. How the fuck you lose sight of this for 20 years?
First thing is like I was dating somebody who everyone was like, oh, you're dating so and so, like you're gonna be set for life, and I was like, oh, really? Like
That was a trust fund that.
I was like, there was no connection there, and I was like, oh, that's not what I'm looking for. And so
the way she spoke to me was so harsh, like so fierce, but not in a way of threats or yelling, just clear truth. Everything you have built, I don't care if I don't have you. Which messed my mind up because I'm like, how could you want me without all this shit?
Well, I realized I wanted presence and I wanted less reactivity because he was like, I want you to share with me. I'm like, I don't feel safe to share with you.
Oh, you have no idea how many times I heard this shit.
Yeah. So I was like, if you can't, I came to him at one point, like I was like, literally, I feel like I'm dying inside. If your reactivity is hurting me. And I like had to come that honest with him. I'm like, I don't think you know that you're hurting me. You're just being reactive, but like, I can't do it anymore. Like if you don't make an attempt to be aware of this, I can't be with you. That I'll even take you and be able to say that to him.
Oh, jeez. She barely could say that.
Then during the time you formulated this is my thought to like when
I think I was like trying to say it for like probably like a year or two, and then I got to this place where I was just like, I literally like was like, I'm bad. Like I can't breathe. Like it. And there he said things like this to me too in our relationship where he was like, if you don't change this, and I was like, oh, why don't I change that for me on my left, and why wouldn't I work on that? So it was me coming here and saying like, this is hurting me, and I need you to make a conscious effort to work on it. I'm not saying it has to be fixed overnight. I just need to see that you like take a pause for a second. And I'm like, oh, he didn't react the way I thought he did. Let me just make a conscious effort. Because like for me, there's things that I do that are not natural. Like I was raised in a home that wasn't very affectionate, wasn't very heavy, wasn't very fizzy, didn't say I love you. And I was like, it felt awkward for me, but it was important for him. So now, and I wanted my kids to see that. So I made an effort every single day, hug him, touch him, love him. Hey, tell my kids, love you. That I didn't grow up in that household. Now, like if he walks by me in the kitchen in the morning, he doesn't hug me. I'm like, what the hell? So it's a pattern that I made. It was uncomfortable for me that I made a conscious effort because it was important for him. And now it's one of my values too. It's important for me. So, and it took me years to get that way. But now he's like, I love when you meet people, like you're a hugger. I used to be like so awkward with introductions. I'm like, hey, like, and now I'm like, it's just normal for me to be that way. Yeah.
That's me.
So this is like, we wrap up for today. I want to say two things. One, Jessica, thank you for being so bold and honest. Because there are way more women with hearing the honesty that you two bring that will have the courage to have the conversations that the men actually get. And to Jarek, to be at a place in your word where you're just like in a place where you're like, I don't fucking care, man. I'm after liberating my soul. Like, this is what I'm after. So I'm going to put my shit out there and I'm going to be free. And I'm going to be free with this woman. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about it. I'm going to send the ring videos. We'll put them online. I don't care. Expose me, rip me to the piece of the bod, set me free. Because it's the same place, Sam. That's why you and I connect now in a way that we didn't 4 years ago. Because neither one of us were ready for what we're publicly putting out right now. Yeah. And as a couple, to show that you can take and recreate a life from 2 different places, to blend a family, to love each other in all its forms. This is the new currency. This is what people are after. Everyone is tired of transactional love. It's exhausting. The world is burning out on it. Yeah. And there's a shift coming. So thank you for being here and on the show together, sharing it with everyone.
And the transactional law, when they change, when it's not transactional, then everybody around you, people, businesses, everybody else, it's a transcendence. Everybody give everybody. It's like suddenly the whole world around you will use. But they really try to start at home,
Right.
and that's what you both of you bring. And really, it's just giving us permission to even fuck it up, but then hold us accountable. I mean, that's what it's like, you know what I mean? And I think that's the biggest thing. And I really appreciate it for everybody else.
Yes, they correct. You did wonderful. And you didn't hold anything back. You continue to manage the Magic C. 2+ months of the Magic C with our guest, two emotions dominating it. One rock show.
You rock her.
Oh,
I gotta. I'm like looking at the cloth. I'm like, I gotta pick up our babies.
all right. So listen, here's the deal. I'm going to leave all the links to social media, to Jarek and Jessica down below, all the rest of it too. Our favor we ask of you is this. Share the show with other couples that you know, right? Millions of downloads on this podcast, which of course I was oblivious to until I was informed by our kings about this. This is helping. Everywhere we go around the world, we meet couples that listen to this podcast. They'd listen to a particular episode, a particular guest that was the key to unlocking their marriage. God has a plan for marriage is being destroyed everywhere you look. And men and women are quitting on this game faster than ever. You don't have to. There's another path. You're hearing it here today with Jarek and Jessica and their story as well, Danielle and I's. So share the show up. On top of this too, if we can help you out being the resources of Wake Up Warrior, check out the Wake Up Warrior book, battlewarriorbook.com. Great entry point for men to try to figure out some of the games that Jarek and I have figured out. We'd love you to figure it out sooner than we did, because the chaos and carnage and scarring that comes from not is heavy. And no matter how deep you went down the rabbit hole and how bad it's gotten, it can get better. So thanks so much for being here, both of you. You're amazing, beautiful humans. And I'm glad I got your glasses back. Although I used them several mornings, not gonna lie, off the power of the Jarek. I was like, let me put these. And thank you so much for you guys. Have a fantastic week. This is another episode of the Date Your Wife podcast.